The energy restraints burned against Kareem's wrists as he knelt before the towering crystalline throne. Around him, the Zephyrian war chamber hummed with alien technology that pulsed like a living heartbeat. Bioluminescent warriors flanked the walls, their chitinous armor gleaming under the ethereal blue light that seemed to emanate from the very air itself. Commander Kareem Hassan had led humanity's 47th Fleet into what they believed would be a decisive battle against the Zephyrian collective. Instead, he found himself the sole survivor, captured when his flagship's bridge took a direct hit from weapons that defied every law of physics he understood. The alien queen rose from her throne, her movements fluid like liquid starlight. Salen, though he wouldn't learn her name until later, stood nearly 8 feet tall, her translucent skin revealing networks of silver veins that carried some form of energy throughout her elongated frame. Forearms moved with predatory grace, each ending in hands that could probably crush his skull without effort. Human commander. Her voice resonated directly in his mind, bypassing his ears entirely. Your species fascinates us. You fight with such primitive determination. Kareem raised his chin defiantly, meeting her large opalescent eyes. We fight for our freedom, something your collective wouldn't understand. A sound like wind chimes filled the chamber, alien laughter. Freedom? You speak of freedom while your people destroy their own world? Wage wars over resources that exist in abundance throughout the galaxy? She descended the steps, her bare feet making no sound on the crystalline floor. We offer unity, peace, an end to your species' self-destructive nature. By erasing our individuality, by making us drones in your collective. Kareem struggled. Against his bonds, the energy restraints responding by tightening further. We'd rather die free than live as slaves. Queen Selen stopped directly in front of him, tilting her elongated head curiously. Such passion, such illogical attachment to chaos. One of her 4 hands reached toward him, and Kareem tensed, expecting pain or death. Instead, her fingers brushed against something at his throat. The reaction was immediate and shocking. Queen Selen jerked back as if electrocuted, her bioluminescent patches flaring brilliant white. Around the chamber, every Zephyrian guard took an involuntary step backward, their own light patterns shifting to what Kareem somehow understood was alarm. Impossible, Selen whispered, her mental voice barely audible. Show me. With surprising gentleness, she lifted the small pendant that hung around Kareem's neck, a simple thing made of worn metal and faded blue stone that had belonged to his grandmother. It was nothing special, just a family heirloom from Earth's Mediterranean region, carved centuries ago by human hands. But Queen Selen stared at it as if she'd seen a ghost. Where did you acquire this? The question blazed through his mind with such intensity that Kareem winced. It's been in my family for generations. My grandmother said it came from her grandmother and hers before that. It's from old Earth, from a place called Andalusia. Selen's voice was barely a whisper now. She sank to her knees, bringing herself to eye level with the human commander. The inscription, can you read it? Kareem looked down at the pendant he'd worn since childhood, but had never thought to examine closely. Now, in the strange light of the alien ship, he could make out faded Arabic script etched into the metal. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. It means there is no power except in God, he said quietly. But I don't understand. Your species calls us the Zephyrian Collective, Selen interrupted, her 4 hands trembling as she continued to stare at the pendant. But that is not our name. We are the Banu Zafir, the descendants of those who journeyed among the stars. The words hit Kareem like a physical blow. Banu Zafir, the sons of victory, an Arabic phrase from his own ancestral tongue. 1,500 of your years ago, Selen continued, her bioluminescence dimming to a soft, almost sad glow. A portion of humanity reached for the stars, not through your primitive rockets, but through abilities your species has since forgotten. They were mystics, philosophers, seekers of knowledge who learned to transcend physical limitations. She gestured to the crystalline walls around them, We are their children, evolved beyond recognition, enhanced by technologies and abilities gathered across millennia of exploration. But we never forgot our origin. Her gaze returned to the pendant. That inscription, it was the motto of the first human expedition to leave your solar system. The energy restraints around Kareem's wrists dissolved. He rubbed his chafed skin, mind reeling. You're saying we're related? That you're descendants of humans? Not just any humans, Seelan said, rising to her full height. The same humans who created that pendant, the same bloodline. She touched her chest, where beneath translucent skin, a similar inscription glowed faintly in her silver veins. We thought we were the only survivors of that expedition. We believed the rest of humanity had destroyed itself long ago. But you attacked our colonies. You've been trying to absorb us into your collective because we thought you were a different species, primitives who had inherited our ancient home but lacked the wisdom to use it properly. Seelan's four hands moved in what might have been distress. We were trying to save you from yourselves, not realizing we were attacking our own distant cousins. The silence that followed was profound. Around the chamber, Zephyrian warriors began removing their helmets, revealing faces that, beneath the evolutionary changes, still held echoes of human features. The same eyes, the same stubborn set to their jaws. Queen Seelan straightened, her bearing shifting from captor to something else entirely. The war ends now, she announced, her mental voice carrying to every Zephyrian ship in the fleet. Send word to all fronts. Immediate ceasefire. The humans are not our enemy, they are our family. She looked back at Kareem, and for the first time since his capture, he saw something he recognized in her alien features. Hope. Commander Hassan, she said formally, I believe it is time our peoples had a proper reunion. We have much to discuss and 1,500 years of separation to overcome. Kareem stood slowly, the pendant warm against his chest. Humanity had reached for the stars long before they'd learned to build rockets. And now, against all odds, the children of Earth were coming home. Your Majesty, he said, offering a slight bow, I think my government would very much like to meet with you. The sound of wind chimes filled the chamber again, but this time Kareem realized. It wasn't laughter, it was joy.